Welcome to Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy. I'm Ken Tamplin, and we're about to check out 20 of the longest notes ever sung in recorded history. With that said, we did do a video on 25 of the most epic screams, so we're trying to stay focused on melodic values, so actual notes sung instead of scream or growl. Though there is some kind of funky stuff going on in here, we'll explain that in a minute. But starting at the very top at number 20 comes in is Jeff Buckley. Now Jeff Buckley just has this utterly amazing, passionate wail at the end of the song Grace. It's 14 seconds long, and unfortunately we lost Jeff back in May 29th of 1997, I believe it was, from a spontaneous swim that he did in the Mississippi River while waiting for his band. So we no longer have Jeff, but we certainly have his scream. This is Grace coming at you at number 20. Check it out. Coming in at number 19 is legendary Barbra Streisand. Now, Barbara's won, I think, as many, if not more, awards than any singer alive in many different categories. She's won 10 Grammys, she's won 5 Emmys, she's won 9 Golden Globe Awards, 1 Tony, and 4 Peabody Awards. I kid you not. And here is her absolute epic belt coming in at 19.25 seconds. Check it out. Landing the number 18th slot is Sebastian Bach from Skid Row. Now, Sebastian wasn't the original singer for Skid Row, Matt Fallon was, but when Matt left the band, I guess John Bon Jovi's parents saw him as a wedding singer at a wedding that they attended and recommended him, and he got the gig. That's pretty cool. Later, after sort of the disillusionment of the group around 2003, he tried out for Slash's band Velvet Revolver, but Slash said it sounded a little too much like Skid Row's, so they went with Scott Weiland instead. Nonetheless, we have this incredible belt wail from Sebastian in I Remember You coming in at 20 seconds. Check it out. Rocking its way to number 17 is Rob Halford from Judas Priest. Now, Rob's always been known for his belty, waily screams and his amazing stamina, longevity, and power. Not the least of which we see here in Painkiller. Now, I did a version of this myself. I'll put it in the description tag and check it out, see how I stacked up. But at 21 seconds, the end of Painkiller is just slaying. Check it out. Sliding its way into number 16 is Lizzie Hale from Halestorm. Now, this concert's pretty interesting because she does this solo wail at 21.13 seconds, and the band actually filled in for another band that backed out of this concert called Cambria, which was warming up for Ronnie James Dio. Now, apparently, this was the last show Ronnie ever performed. Check it out. Now, what would a best vocal anything be without Dimash somewhere in the mix, right? Coming in at number 15 is Dimash and his operatic 22-second belt. Looks like his younger years, actually. And one of the things I think I like about Dimash, as much as I like his musical and vocal abilities, is his kindness and his desire to unify people. I just think that's really cool, and the world needs a lot more of that. So with that said, let's check out Dimash. Controlling the number 14 slot is Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses. Now, Axl has some pretty interesting vocal influences. He says he loves Elton John and Christina Aguilera, with a deep love for Lynyrd Skynyrd, which is pretty awesome. 22.21 seconds for his opening of Welcome to the Jungle, and this is kind of later on in his career, but let's check this out. Next up at number 13 is Melba Moore. Melba was a street singer from Harlem who made her way all the way to the lead role of Hair on Broadway, which is super awesome. Here is her hairy 23.15 second long note. Crushing the number 12 slot is Maynard James Keenan from the band Tool, with his iron lungs killing his 25-second wail. Check this out. Next up at number 11 is Vanessa Amorosi. Now, Vanessa hails from Australia and was singing at the 2000 Olympic Games with her song called Heroes Live Forever, and she holds on to a 25.22 second note. Let's check this out. All right, closing in on the top 10 is Rochelle Farrell. Now, Rochelle was known for her longevity and stamina. In fact, she often quotes herself as saying that she performed 4 sets a night, 6 nights a week of jazz standards and classics. That's a lot of singing, if you ask me. But she also goes on to saying a really cool quote. Let me read it to you specifically. In her own words, she says, singing is much affords you the opportunity to present a song from the inside out. The songwriter translates emotion into words, but it's the singer's job to translate the words back into emotion. Well said. Let's check out her 26-second belt. Here it is. Making its way to number 9 is Florence Welch. Now, Florence and the Machine actually started out as a joke, not a real band name. But it's no joke that Florence is quite the machine. Check out her 27-second long belt. Here it is. I just love this next clip. Coming in at number 8 is tenor Tim Warwick of the Barbershop Quartet Vocal Spectrum. Now, the Barbershop Quartet actually started out just as a one-time educational thing for a local high school, and they went on to win 3 of the most prestigious Barbershop Quartet awards you can get. Let's check out this tenor bender at 29 seconds long. Here it is.
He's bad, bad,
Stealing the number 7 slot is Eric Adams from Manowar. Now, in fairness, there's a lot of really great metal screams out there, but this beast comes in at 30 seconds long is just amazing. Side note, Kurt Cobain, in the last interview he did before he committed suicide, went on to saying something interesting. He said, Nirvana will never be even a tenth as good as Manowar, and I have a very hard time living to that fact. It's like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. The other kind of interesting side note is the bassist, Joey DeMaio. His original name is Joey Hellman. You guys probably remember that. Is the sole heir to the famous Hellman mayonnaise estate. So with that said, let's check out this beast. Cruising in at number 6 is Stacey Francis. Stacey was an X Factor finalist in the very first season, but that's not where her career started. This young preacher's kid out of Brooklyn had a band called Ex-Boyfriend, and they had a number 3 hit on Billboard. It was called Why Can't You Come Home, I believe it was, and the rest is history, but she has a 31-second belt we have to check out. Here it is. Coming in at number 5 is Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden. Now, you gotta love Bruce. I mean, he is a captain of a commercial airlines, Australis Air, flying around Boeing 757s while he's not doing Iron Maiden, that is, or maybe even while he's doing Iron Maiden, flying himself around. Second, I love the kind of funny little personal stories. He's got many, but one of which is back in a school that he was in that he didn't like the headmaster and the faculty. I guess he pissed in the beans that was served to them for food. Speaking of him not pissing off Bruce, I guess he also pissed on a mixing console at some venue in 1983, I think it was, because he didn't like the sound of the mix. And also he's a fencing expert and went on to compete. It was taught in 1989 by Errol Flynn's stunt double how to fence, and actually represented Great Britain. So with that said, let's check out Bruce's amazing scream coming in at 41 seconds. Check it out. Rocking the number 4 slot is Gianni Luminati from the band Walk Off the Earth. Now, this is an extraordinary band, and Gianni's not the only singer of the band, and he's not the only instrumentalist in the band either. I want to read to you guys some of the stuff this guy plays. He, in addition to singing and playing guitar, he plays bass guitar, ukulele, drums, percussion, banjo, mandolin, cello, glockenspiel, kalimba, harmonica, keyboards, double bass, and the list goes on. Amazing. Now, some of you guys might remember the Goatee version that they did back in 2012, I think it was, where they got 175 million views for that cover in just 4 months. They went on later to play the Ellen DeGeneres show, where all 5 members played one guitar at the same time. So that said, let's check out this 45-second epic scream. Here it is. Coming in at number 3 is Sigur Rós. Now, Sigur's an interesting guy as he sings in Icelandic and English mostly, and has developed his own language called Hopelandic, which is kind of like jazz scatting. It doesn't really mean anything, but it's kind of cool. And here is his long note at 45.1 seconds. All right, we've made it to number 2 with Dean Frankel. Dean's a pretty interesting character because he holds the record in overtone singing, which is really interesting. It's that multi-timbral, multi-harmonic, multi-polyphonic sounding singing, kind of like playing a juice harp with those little fluty things. Things we used to play with as a kid. Remember that? Anyway, and his amazing 56.9 second note. Check this out. The moment we've all been waiting for, coming in at number 1, and according to the Guinness Book of World Records, for the longest note ever held by a human being, goes to Richard Fink at 2 minutes 1.07 seconds. Don't hold your breath anytime soon. That record's going to be broken. But I want to point out he was a previous record title holder and had to come back and defend his title. And here it is. And with that said, you guys, if you like what you heard, please like and subscribe to my channel. That would be awesome. I have a singing course called How to Sing Better Than Anyone Else. For those of you that are interested in learning how to sing, you can find it here at KenTamplinVocalAcademy.com. And let's check out Richard Fink with the longest note ever held by a human being. Here it is. Hey guys, if you like what you heard, please like and subscribe to my channel by clicking on the subscribe button. That will actually take you to another page where you want to click on the bell icon, and it opens up a menu, and the menu has notifications on it where there's a little box you can check where it says send me all notifications for this channel. Check the box and then click the save button and you'll get notifications from me every time I have a cool video come out. Okay? Thanks guys. Peace out.